All right, so got to check my lives real quick. All right, so as you're coming into this amazing Monday 9 a.m. morning Central, let me know where you're coming from. I would love to know. All righty, so it looks like this is up and running. Just got to make sure that the audio is okay. All right, so that's not going to work right there. That's fine. So we have that. There we go. All right, so hopefully the audio is a little bit better. I did some adjustments to my microphone, so I think we got that squared away. Today we are covering a fun topic. Imagine that. We are covering the perfect strategy for you real estate agents. So the perfect marketing strategy for real estate agents. So this is something that I've been putting together for a little while now. And I'm really excited to share this with you because there's just so many things that you can focus on. There's so many different aspects of marketing. There's so many aspects of lead generation. There's just so many different things out there. It can be a little bit overwhelming. Don't necessarily know where to start. So that's why we're covering what we're covering today. And you're in for a special treat. Today's one of those times where I actually made a PowerPoint. So, if you've been following this stream with any regularity, you know that I don't always do that. So now we did. All right. So I got to check one quick thing as well. Bum, bum, bum. All right. So there's that. All right. Awesome. So it looks like we're public. We are public. I thought that I'd posted this unlisted like I did last time, but we are good to go. All right. So as you're coming in, let me know where you're coming from. I see Montreal. Alex. Hey, Alex. How's it going, Alex? I appreciate you being on. All right. So I'll do my final check over here over on Facebook. Make sure that I have that up and going, which I do. All right, so let's get started. Let's get started on this Monday morning. Thank you so much for joining me. We do these live streams every single Monday at 9 a.m. Central. So you're welcome to join us. In fact, I have a very special announcement. We're actually going to be doing this twice a week moving forward. So expect, I did a poll and it sounds like Friday at this time is when most of you can make it. So for those of you that are on right now, what do you think about that? What do you think about a Friday live stream as well? And it would be in addition to, it's not going to replace what we're doing right now. It's going to be addition to. So let me know what you think about the Friday at 9 a.m. Central live stream. We're going to cover topics similar to what we're covering right now because that's what the channel is about. So let me know what you think about that. It's something that I've been working on from behind the scenes, and now that I've staffed up even more, so I have additional staff to help me out, it becomes feasible. In the past, it was just not. So that's why we're doing it. So super excited about that. Outside of that, let's get started. As you're coming in, let me know where you're coming from. And also, if you have any questions, by all means, drop them in the chat. I'm monitoring Facebook and I'm also monitoring YouTube. So be sure that as you're coming in, drop any questions that you might have. And while you're browsing through, just coming through into the live stream, hit that like button. That's going to really help out. All right, so let's get started. Let's talk about marketing strategy for 2021. Really, this is a strategy that's realistically you can implement for the following years. It's not only for a certain year. It's something that you can implement year round in any year as long as these platforms are viable. And the platforms that we're going to cover today certainly are viable, but the principles are tried and tested and are going to extend the life of Facebook, extend the life of YouTube, extend the life of any social media platform that you can think of. So in regards to the longevity of these are the principles are going to always be here. So as we're talking about the perfect real estate marketing strategy, that's what we're going to focus on. So trying to stick to the core principles that are going to work. But as you know, in this channel, I give you as much actionable items as possible because I don't want you to just walk away with theory. Theory is fine to understand something, but at the end of the day, theory isn't going to make that next post for you. Theory isn't going to be that video that you upload. It needs to be something that you can actually apply. And that's the same principles that I use in my business with the agents that I work with from a consulting standpoint, or the agents that I personally sponsor at EXP. So we talk about this a lot. But anyway, let's get started. I have a presentation for you. So I'm going to share my screen right now, and we're going to jump into the best real estate marketing strategy for real estate agents. So this marketing strategy is for you realtors that are wanting to level up, grow your business, but at the same time, don't want to break the bank. I understand that a budget is something that we all have to be cognizant of. So with our strategy today, you're going to notice that I did not include as many paid strategies as I have in the past, because I want to give you as much free content, as much as free strategies as possible that doesn't involve you spending $5,000 a month on ads. I mean, you can certainly do that if you have the budget. I mean, that's awesome. That's great and good for you. But I understand that most agents do not. So I want to give you as many free strategies as possible that are actionable, as opposed to just going on live here and doing the live stream and saying, hey, dump $5,000 into Google, and then dump another $5,000 into Facebook, and dump another $5,000 into YouTube. That is just not very practical. And it's something that isn't going to help a majority of you. So I want to make sure that that is communicated across the board. So we're going to focus on the principles first, and then we're going to dive into some practical strategies, some of them that I'm doing myself. Actually, all of these I'm doing myself. So I don't know why I'm saying some. So that's going to really help out. All right. So as you come in, if you have any questions about anything, let me know in the chat. All right. Don't got that kind of money. I know, Ben. I don't. I know I don't. All righty, so let's get going. The central theme for the marketing strategy that you're going to see today is be everywhere. So I want to repeat that. The central theme is be everywhere. That's the concept that I want to really drive home today. That's the theme of the strategy that we're going to cover. So be everywhere means be everywhere that people's eyes are. Be everywhere where people's ears are. Be everywhere where people's attention and focus is. You want to be in as many places as possible. And I'll show you some great ways to do that, so you don't have to spend hours and hours and hours every single day trying to get this right, and also thousands and thousands of dollars trying to get this right. So we're going to go into some actual strategies, but I just want you to take this central theme and start getting the gears working, getting the, hey, be everywhere. I don't want to say omnipresent because that's a bit heretical, but be everywhere in the sense of wherever the focus is, wherever the attention is in the people that are going to work with you, whether that's buyers, investors, sellers, whomever it happens to be, whomever it is you're focusing on. That's what I want you to think about. Be everywhere in their eyes. So that is really what I really want to drive home. So I think as we understand that concept a little bit more, it's going to make a lot more sense. All right, so the struggle that you're going to have is as you go through being everywhere and really trying to implement the strategies that I share with you on being everywhere, the thing that I want to caution you against is going too broad. Going too broad, but I don't mean in topics. I don't mean in whatever content you create. I don't mean in whatever ad you're running. I'm talking about being too broad geographically, because think about it. You're in real estate. And that means that you're able to help people within a certain radius. You're not going to drive 5 hours to go to a listing appointment. If you do, it better be there better be a big listing. So real estate is pretty local. So you want to make sure that you dominate geographically. So dominate in your geography, dominate your farm, dominate your area, dominate where it makes sense. It doesn't make sense for somebody like, let's just say me, to dominate a space in Maryland. I don't have a license in Maryland, nor do I even know anybody in Maryland. So it just doesn't make sense for me to dominate that. So we're not trying to boil the ocean with the strategies that we're talking about. We're very targeted with the strategies, but also we're targeted with the strategies within a confined area. Now, I understand that as a real estate agent, you do have the opportunity at a referral, but we all know that a referral doesn't have the 100% price tag, meaning that you're not going to get the entire 100% commission. So there with the referral, you're talking about 20, 25, 35, however much you charge for a referral, that is something that's your cap. That's how much you can expect. But when it comes to dominating your geography, so dominating your farm, your area, that's what we're talking about, because you get to keep the entire pie. Unless you have a team, then of course you can be the rainmaker and make and push down the leads or share the leads in that regard. But it's too easy to think about, well, I got to be everywhere, go everywhere. Yes, but certainly in the geographically, you want to bind yourself to an area so you don't feel like you're bowling the ocean, burning the candle on both ends, and whatever other visual you want. You don't want to do that. So caution, dominate geographically. Be sure. So we're talking about being everywhere, but let's dominate geographically, because really that's where it matters. All righty. Now, before we get to the how, and this is very important because it's going to tie in what the last point that we're going to cover on our time together today. So there's a big reveal, so stay around for that. That is that's the strategy that is going to tie everything else together, everything that we're going to talk about together. But before we actually get into the how, get into the actionable items, we need to understand that we get to guide and direct the attention. So we get to guide the attention of the people that we want to work with us wherever we want it. So you are the master here. You are think of it like being a magician. So if you've been to any magician shows or follow any type of magic, just as a whole, if you watch magic, the magician is doing the whole thing of misdirection. So they may be talking about a story and you may think, well, that story is completely crazy, or that story just doesn't make sense, or all of this fun stuff. Or they tell you, hey, look over here and pay close attention to this coin over here. But in the background, they're doing something completely different. So they're focusing and guiding your attention wherever they want it. I want you to think of the same thing for your business. You get to guide the attention that you garner, whether that's through social media, whether that's through print, whether that's through radio, TV, whatever it is, you get to guide it where you want it. So with that being said, I want you to focus, really, really focus right now in your business. Where are you guiding everybody's attention? Are you sending them to a website? Okay, that's one place that you can focus them. Are you guiding them to your YouTube channel? That's another focus point. Are you guiding them to a landing page? Are you guiding them to a Facebook group? Are you guiding them to a Facebook page? Are you guiding them to somewhere physically? Where are you guiding the attention? Where are you directing people's attention to? Because that matters, especially for the big reveal. And I'm kind of going to tip my hand here. The key to guiding somebody's attention is guiding them to a platform that has the ability to capture their information, either through them giving you their email, their phone number, their address, and their name, or being able to cache their browser. Meaning, as soon as they land on your website, as an example, they get tracked. At the moment that they watch one of your videos, they get trapped or tracked. Tracked, I guess trapped is a better word, but guiding the attention, be careful of where you guide it, because you don't want to guide attention to the abyss. You don't want to just send them, all right, so make sure that everybody that is on this live stream, make sure to call me at 972 blank, 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 and you give your phone number and nobody answers. So it's a one-shot deal. You don't want that. You want to guide an attention to where you can either capture somebody's information directly, name, email, phone number, address, whatever it is that you're asking for, or you're capturing their browser basically. So you're able to retarget them at the end of the day. And we'll talk about that later on. But before you get started on what we're covering today, think about where you're guiding the attention. So to give you an example of what that looks like in my business, I guide people to 2 funnels. So basically, where do I want your attention? To be completely candid with you, I want your attention here on YouTube. So anytime I have a consult, anytime I have a conversation, anytime somebody asks me for, hey, do you have 15 minutes? The most common answer is no, I don't have 15 minutes, so I don't do that. But anytime somebody asks me a question, as an example, over on Messenger, emails, texts, phone calls, what have you, I drive them all back here to YouTube. I drive them to YouTube to either watch one of my videos. I drive them to comment on one of my videos. So if they have a question, I ask that they drop their question in the chat box or in the comment section so more people can view it, so more people can get the answer to that. So that's what we're talking about there. All right, sorry, my messenger's going wild right now. So with guiding the attention, that's what I'm talking about. Now, if you don't have a YouTube channel, don't fret. I would encourage that you do it, because that's going to be very applicable for our next strategies and your growth. But you can drive attention to your website. So that's my other funnel that I was mentioning. I redid my entire website, and now I ask people to go to my Resendiz.com website, where I have everything. And it's still under construction for certain pages, so I have to kind of hide those pages. But as more and more content gets created and curated, I make those pages available on the website. So I'm driving all the attention there. When it comes to the actual website, I drive it to my website, and then I drive people to my YouTube channel. And I'll get into the final strategy here in a little bit, but think about where you're guiding the attention. That's the moral of this page. That's the moral of this particular story before we get started. All right. As far as the marketing strategy going forward, here are the 5 that I suggest that you focus on right now. Now, of course, there are several things that you don't see here. There are several items that, well, why isn't Instagram on here? Why isn't TikTok on here? Why isn't X, Y, and Z on here? Well, you can add those, but I'm giving you what I deem to be the best strategies right now that you can leverage, either because not many people are doing it, or the cost to do it is very minimal, or you have the ability to do cross promotion, so from platform to platform. And then most importantly, their effectiveness. That's really the end goal, right? You need these strategies to be effective. You need people to give you their contact information. You need to work with buyers. You need to work with sellers. That's the end game. So I'm giving you from effectiveness. I'm giving you from ease of use. I'm giving you from potential. I'm giving you so many different things went into creating this. So yes, there's going to be some platforms that are not here. That's by design. Now, if you're using something else that you'd like to see here, let me know in the comment section. Hey, Jaime, why didn't you include TikTok? Hey, Jaime, what about Instagram? Hey, I'm using Instagram incredibly well. I'm getting 30 leads a day, whatever it is. Let me know in the comment section. We can certainly have a respectable conversation about that. So we have YouTube, we have podcast, we have Facebook, blog, and then email/text marketing. And there's a little asterisk right there to it. So I'll get to it in a little bit. So these are my suggested platforms that will comprise your perfect real estate marketing strategy moving forward. These are the platforms right now that are low-hanging fruit, and I'm not going to reiterate all that stuff. Low-hanging fruit, opportunities, cost, everything else. So these are the ones that we want to focus on, but getting a bit more granular. As you know, I love practical things. I like actionable things. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. One element of your marketing strategy should be YouTube. At this point, it's not a hey, maybe consider doing YouTube. No, at this point, YouTube is it. I think at this point, YouTube, I have to drop the maybe it'll work. No, it's been proven time and time again, not only from my business, but with the agents that I work with. YouTube is absolutely crushing it. So right now is a great time for you to jump in. It's a great time for you to make content. But going back to the strategy of being everywhere and cautious, be everywhere geographically, make videos that are pertinent to real estate, but geographically bound, meaning make content about the area that you actually work. If you're talking about how to buy a house, Well, you can make that type of video, you can make that type of content, and you can upload it to YouTube, but it's going to be hard to gain traction. It's going to be quite difficult for that to happen. So when you're making videos like that, that can be a bit broad, how to buy a house, that can be a bit broad. Tie them geographically. How to buy a house in Tarrant County, how to buy a house in Fort Worth, how to buy a house in Dallas. So start bringing them in geographically, because most people are, yes, they're interested in how to buy a house in general, but most people are interested in how to buy a house where they actually plan to buy a house. So that is how you beat the YouTube algorithm. Let me rephrase that. That's how you work with. You're never going to truly beat the algorithm. That's how you work in tandem with YouTube. So whenever you're making your videos about whatever it is that you're making videos about, tie them geographically, because that has a chance of actually ranking. That has a chance of being shown on Google. That has a high chance on being shown on YouTube. And that has a high chance of you actually getting views that then turn into leads, that then turn into clients, that then turn into commission checks. So that's the progression. So as you're going through your marketing strategy, I highly encourage that YouTube becomes part of it. And when you're making this content, make it relative geographically, or make it exclusive for your industry. So I'll give you one example right now. I like giving as many examples as possible, because with examples, you as long as myself, we learn. That's examples are a great way. So think about the title of this particular live stream. So the best real estate marketing strategy for real estate agents, marketing strategy for realtors. Could I have titled it the best marketing strategy? Sure. But then I'm going to compete against a lot of other videos. And really, I'm not making content for, let's just say, plumbers. I'm not making content for tax attorneys. I'm not making content for accountants. I'm making content for real estate professionals, for real estate agents, for realtors, for people in the real estate industry. So I took that broad concept of marketing strategy and I brought it down to an applicable, tangible audience. So real estate agents. Now, I understand that that's not geographical, but because geographical, is that a word? We're going to say it is. So I understand that that's not based off of geography, that's based off of topic, but it's the same concept. So for me, I can work with people everywhere. I work with people not only from a consulting standpoint, but from the agents that I sponsor at EXP, where I do their lead generation for free. I do that in California. I do that in Canada. I do that in Florida. I do that in New York, all over Texas. So for me, I'm not geographically bound. So it's a little bit different than real estate, but I am topic bound. I am audience bound by real estate. So that's why I brought it back. For you, same thing. As except for there, it's geographically based, because that's a bit more pertinent to what you're doing, which is selling houses. So is this making sense? Let me know in the comment section. Great info. I see over here by Pete. Thank you, Pete. So that's what we're talking about with YouTube. That's what we're talking about, making videos geographically. And just to give you some additional ideas, you can always do a pros and cons of living in Fort Worth. You can always do that video. The top rated schools in Fort Worth, the top rated neighborhoods in Fort Worth, the best, the best restaurants in Fort Worth. So you're making a lot of content. Again, going back to the principle, the theme here, be everywhere. You're making a ton of content. And while you're creating this content, you are forming relationships with the principals. You're forming relationship with business owners. You're forming relationships with other influential people that will ultimately either use you personally or have influence over others to work with you. So that's what we're doing. And that's why we're doing it the way that we go about it. Now, I'll give you one pro tip, because we're talking about getting things that actually work. The strategy works fantastic, but actually implementing it can be a bit daunting. It can be a little bit harder to do. So I want to give you the ninja hack. Basically, those the pros and cons list, the top 5, the top 10, the best and worst, whatever those types of videos, those are what you call listicle videos. So basically it's a listicle videos. Don't ask me to spell it because I'm not going to get it right. So listicle videos are, you know, those rankings basically. Those listicle videos are extremely easy to do. So I wish I would have, I didn't know I was going to give you this ninja hack, but I will, I'll drop it in the description and I'll drop it in the comment section where, so you can get the discount to the platform that I use. And we churn videos out like crazy. These videos rank on YouTube. These videos are being run for Facebook ads. These videos are being created for Facebook stories, all that fun stuff. The software that I use is InVideo. That's INVIDEO. I'll be sure to drop it down below so you can see it. But that is something that you absolutely want to at least check out because it's a great way for you to make videos quickly. And I'm talking about videos that actually are good aesthetically, but also I'm talking about videos that you can create very, very quickly. And these videos do rank. So I have quite a few high ranking videos geographically to the Dallas-Fort Worth area in relation to real estate. So just giving you that out there. All right, so that's YouTube. Any questions on YouTube? We can certainly dive in. I see a question, not a question. I'll share this on my Facebook page. Appreciate all the tips. Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so that's part one. That's part one. That's part one of being everywhere, right? YouTube, it's a new muscle for some of you, and that's okay. The beauty about YouTube is that once you make your videos, they're there for the long run, and they're going to continue to gain views. They're going to continue to gain attention. Now, this is a little bit different than what we're going to talk about now when it comes to Facebook. This is, again, the perfect marketing strategy for you real estate agents. So as you're making content, as you're making videos on YouTube, that is a great place for you to rank on Google and rank on YouTube. And that's what it's about. Here, Facebook, this is a little bit more active. And the reason that it's more active is because Facebook, let's just say you make a very popular, very awesome post and a lot of people engage with it. Well, what happens a week from now? Nobody's going to see it. Nobody sees it. It was getting so much attention at the beginning and then it just goes away. That just happens. That's the nature of Facebook. So you need to be a bit more strategic here. And that's why I say you need to post constantly. So as an example, with Facebook, I made a comment on one of the large Facebook groups for real estate agents. And I don't remember how many, they have over 100,000 members in that group by now. But I made a comment just last week and I was asking agents, how many brokerages have you been with in the past, in your career? I believe it was something like that. And I was just asking people to give me a number. I had 4,500 comments on that post. 4,500 comments. Now, you may be thinking, well, Jaime, what a dumb question. And that's fair. But you might also be thinking, well, why would you? Okay, so one, that doesn't necessarily make sense. Why would you ask that? What's your strategy behind that? Well, it goes back to being seen everywhere. 4,500 people saw my name. 4,500 people engaged enough to consider that question and answer it. So 4,500 people, and I'm not counting the likes and all the stuff because I know that there's a lot of hundreds of people did that, but they didn't comment. So we're talking about 4,500 people that engaged. So with that, they saw me. Now, for me, again, I'm not geographically bound as real estate agents may be in the area, but even if I was, then those are people that know that I'm in the DFW area, and those are people that they see my time and time, see me show up time and time again. Then there's referrals to be had. So that's just one of the strategies that you can implement. That's on the Facebook group side. But as you're posting consistently, you can post anything from authority websites. So we have Zillow's, Trulia's, Redfins.com, these types of companies and websites that have hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in their editorial staff. They're out there doing the research and making videos, making blogs, making posts, writing articles that you can go and give your opinion on. So let's just say you go to Zillow and you see that one of their top blogs is talking about how the real estate market is going to crash. Well, you see that it's a trending topic for Zillow. So all you have to do is go back to your social media strategy and then give Zillow the credit. So give them, let me rephrase that, source out that Zillow said X. Hey guys, Zillow is saying that the market is going to crash in 2 weeks. Do you agree? Boom. You just dropped a bombshell on a lot of people on your personal page, on your business page, in your Facebook groups, whatever it is that you're managing. You are creating engagement. Now notice that I didn't do the direct link out to somebody else, because then Facebook is going to penalize you, but also you're not going to get as much engagement in that regard. And if you link out to Zillow as an example, you run the risk of Zillow taking your client, because it's far too easy for them to create their own account and start searching for homes without you, right? So you don't want to miss out. But so that's another example. You want to post consistently, and the easiest way to do that is through going to authority websites, like I mentioned. So Zillow's, Trulia's, Inman, whatever, Forbes, Yahoo, Finance, those authority websites that are making content that has a real estate lens to it. And if it doesn't have a real estate lens to it, well, before I get to that, let's talk about the next strategy. Well, we're talking about authority websites for Facebook posting and any content basically that you want to do. You could actually make a video or write a blog about whatever it is that you found interesting on Zillow. That's one strategy. But the other strategy is taking trending topics, that are trending right now. So as you know, an election just happened. So that was a trending topic. As you know, interest rates are low, they're incredibly low. So that's something that you can write about. So take something that is trending and then put your own real estate lens behind it. You can even do this with memes. The most successful meme maker that I know in real estate is The Broke Agent. So Simon is Simon Chan, I believe is his last name. So Simon was actually on my YouTube channel. This was a year ago. And he was sharing a lot of information of how to grow your Instagram, a lot of information of how he curates his content. And that was one of his primary way of creating memes. He would just see whatever was trending out in the industry, or just any industry, and he would adapt it to a real estate lens. So he would turn it into a real estate lens. So it doesn't matter what trend, what viral moment, what meme, what article, anything can be applied in a real estate lens, will have reverberations on the real estate industry. Let's talk about unemployment. Well, unemployment clearly has a big impact on the real estate industry. So anything that you can think of that is absolutely becoming news, you can put that to a real estate lens. So that is that's something else that you certainly want to do. And you can do that on your personal pages, on your business pages, in groups. The key here is post consistently. Going back to the principal theme of this, I want to remind everybody, be everywhere. That's the concept. That's the theme for that perfect real estate marketing strategy for you. So if this is making sense, let me know by either in the comment section, makes sense, or hey, what about this? Whatever it is that you have, let me know. And also, huge favor, if you wouldn't mind smashing like, that's going to help out a ton. All right, so just make sure I'm monitoring the chat over here. All right, so let me see. Do we have all the points here? All right, so key here, post consistently because the content goes away. The content goes away. As an example, that Facebook post that I was telling you about where I asked agents how many brokers they've been with or brokerages they've been with, that got 4,300 comments in about 48 hours. But it's been a week. It's been a week now, and it's only gained about 200 more. So you can see that it's going to go away. It's going to go into the, it's going to fall into the abyss. So that's why we have to keep, I guess, reinventing ourselves and keep drawing people's attention, because Facebook is just not the platform to hold long-term content. All right, so how long do you usually recommend recording your videos? If you're starting out, great question, Ben. If you're just starting out, I recommend that you go shorter amounts, so go 3 to 5 minutes, because people don't necessarily have, you haven't built the community quite yet, so they're not going to be as willing to invest longer than 5 minutes with you, giving you a shot. So I recommend going 3 to 5 minutes. It's a good way for you to build in that muscle. So build that muscle. So as you know, whenever you're exercising, you need to do the repetitions, you need to do the reps in order to grow. So it's a great way to build reps by not having a 30-minute video. So by the time that this live stream is done, chances are it's going to be about 45 minutes, because there's a few more slides that we need to get through. But this is a little bit different, and I'll show you my strategy here, which is actually in the podcast. Podcast is a fantastic tool for you to build credibility, for you to build authority, and is a great door opener for anybody that you want to reach. Absolutely anybody that you want to reach. This is a great platform for you to do that on, because people are used to getting invited to a 15-minute conversation. So as I mentioned to you a little bit earlier, I don't want to sound obnoxious, but when people ask me, do you have 15 minutes for a quick question? One, it's not 15 minutes. As you know, there's preparation to scheduling, going back and forth, having the conversation. Typically 15 minutes is not going to be enough. So one, it's not a 15-minute conversation. And two, I just don't take them anymore. There's just, my time has become way too compressed at this point. So I just don't do it. But with that being said, if I'm being asked to be on somebody's YouTube channel, if I'm being asked to be on somebody's podcast, that's a different lens. That's a different opportunity. There, it's helping both people out. So from one standpoint, if you were just having a conversation one-on-one with somebody, it's not necessarily helping you out all that much as being the person that's being asked. Again, I'm not trying to be critical. I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but just giving you the lens of, when you reach out to creators, especially that are huge, way huger than me, they see it differently because they're being asked by thousands of people. So for me, it's hundreds of people, but it's still a thing. I still have 24 hours a day. However, if you invite somebody to your podcast, you're opening doors. You're opening a lot of doors. So that's really why podcast is still underserved. You may think like, oh my gosh, I don't get the Joe Rogan numbers, so why would I even try? Well, you don't need the Joe Rogan numbers. There's only one Joe Rogan. It's only one podcast that's number one in the world. That's why there's the number one. But you can get a couple of hundred. That's very, very reasonable to do. And you only need a couple hundred to sell 100 homes a year. You really do. You really do. You just need to get enough people's buy-in, build a community that are always reminded that you're a real estate agent, that you are in real estate. So podcast, again, goes back to the main theme. I'm going to keep referring back to it, being everywhere. Except with podcast here, not only are you everywhere, but it builds that additional level of credibility, because not many real estate agents are doing this. So this podcast, the one that I have, is the Agent Lead Source podcast for you real estate agents. So I encourage you to go and check those out. But that's something I do in collaboration with Joseph Gonzalez. So I am not doing the entire lifting here. That's something that's being spread out, and you can do the same thing with your referral partners. So although Joseph's not a referral partner of mine, he champions what I do. I champion what he does. There's some good cross-pollination of he does the same things that I do the same things that he does. But at the end of the day, I can tell you that together we've grown crazy. We've grown crazy over the past 6 months that we've been doing this. So with that being said, with the podcast, what it can look like for you is going with your referral partners, whether it's the title company, whether that's a lender, whether that's an inspector, whether that's an insurance agent, whether that's whoever it is that you feel would be able to help you out in this venture. You can team up and do that. Now, one pro tip and really a life hack is do your podcast live. Do your podcast live. Similar to what you're seeing here, you're seeing me over on my Facebook group and you're seeing me on YouTube. Do the podcast live. It creates a different atmosphere because at that point you have to show up. It's a commitment that you have, that you all right, I have to do this because people are expecting us at 8 p.m. As an example. So the podcast that we have is on Thursdays at 8 p.m. So I know that I have to show up. It can be a little bit, it can get a little bit dicey if well, I'm just so tired. I don't want to do it. Maybe I'll record tomorrow. No, at that point, if we know that we are kind of banking on for it to happen tomorrow, it's just not going to get done. At least personally, I don't know if you're any different than me. I know I feel that way. So with the podcast, I encourage you to do it live. It's a great way for you to connect with your audience. So you're doing that on Facebook. You're doing that on YouTube. If you have access to the LinkedIn live platform, you can also do it on LinkedIn. And for you to simulcast, the one that we do use is Restream. You can do Restream. You can do StreamYard. There's so many different platforms out there that allow you to do it. Now, when you do the actual podcast, make sure that you do record it, and then you add the bumper, so the intro and then the outro. Put in any ads if you're fortunate enough to be sponsored by somebody, and then you upload it to the platform. And I have an entire video on how to get your podcast off the ground in the channel, so I encourage you to check it out. But with podcast, again, you are building an audience, you have credibility, it opens doors that typical, hey, do you have 15 minutes? Doesn't. And it's just, you're going to be surprised the amount of people that say yes to you, and the amount of people that have a certain level of influence that will say to you, yes to you. You will be surprised. You absolutely will. All right. So Ben, love to have you on my YouTube channel. There you go. So that's a appropriate, there you go. Putting it right into practice. Blogs. All right. So here's the thing. Some of you just rolled your eyes, and I heard it through the live stream. I heard you roll your eyes because you're thinking that that blogs are dead. They're not. They're absolutely not. Blogs, for a while there, they became just everybody has a blog, and I understand that. But guess what? When the fad was in of everybody having a blog, guess what most people did 3 months after the fact? They quit. They absolutely quit. So blogs are a great thing for you to do right now in this day and age, because there's a huge opportunity for you. It's a huge opportunity for you to, and here's where we start tying everything in, folks. This is where we start tying in some different elements. With your blogs, you can embed your podcasts. With your blogs, you can embed your videos. With your blogs, you can embed your social media posts. So let's go the other way around. In your YouTube videos, you can reference your blog. You can link it down below. In your podcast, you can reference your blog. In your Facebook post, you can link to your blogs, or at least make people aware that you have one. So notice how everything is tying into each other, feeding into each other, and that is by design. With blogs, it's a great SEO tool. So search engine optimization. Your blogs allow you to show up when somebody goes to the #1 website in the world, which is Google, and type in their search. So whenever somebody goes into the search, goes to Google and types in how to buy a house in Fort Worth, you have a very strong chance of showing up because you went down geographically, you talked about a topic that people are looking for, and you created content from a video standpoint, including from a podcast standpoint if you want. You make content about it on Facebook or any social media platform. We're just focusing on Facebook for now. And then your blog is there, hyperlinking everything together, creating those backlinks, as what they're called, for you, and you're growing the audience that way. Now, here's the key. Here's the key. We're talking about tying everything is together, but the key is for you to actually be found. You want to get technical. You want to create technical content. And what I mean by that is you want to niche down your content even more. I know we just talked about getting a bit geographical with our YouTube videos, like how to buy a house in Fort Worth. I gave you that example. Well, with blogs, you want to get even tighter. You want to get even more technical, because it's in the blogs that you need to get a little bit more hyper local, because there is so much competition out there with blogs. Now, yeah, a lot of people have given up, but at the same time, just because they gave up doesn't mean that that blog isn't still there. So a lot of people may not be doing an active blogging anymore, but the beauty about blogs is once you create it once, it's there forever. So some of these agents that have massive blogs or massive hits on a certain article or blog that blew up, they're not in the industry anymore. They're doing something else, or maybe they retired, or maybe they're just not focused on that anymore, whatever the case may be. So you're still competing against them. So what you're trying to do is break through. So by the more technical that you can get, the better it is for you. So I'll give you an example. Again, going back to examples, I'm trying to keep this practical. With your blog, you can write how to buy a house under probate in Tarrant County. So there you introduce another technical component, which is probate. But at the same time, there's a lot, you know as well as I do, Fort Worth or Tarrant County, which is where Fort Worth is, that processes a lot of probates. So you have a super niche content that will be found on this. You will be found because nobody has done that. So it is a great way for you to be found and rank, especially now. You have to really get technical with it. So I'll give you another example. And this is part of what I mentioned to you, the staff that I have. I'm in the blog game now. So blogs is something that is a big strategy for me come well, really not just next year, every year now. So you see that I'm making the content. You see that I'm making a YouTube video every single day. I'm doing live streams. I'm doing podcasts and everything else. You see that you're out there seeing it. So thank you so much. Appreciate your support. And I thank you heavily for hitting that like button. But here's the thing. With the blog, I get to tie everything in together, and I can go into any topic that I want and be really elaborate on it. So with my blog is one of my biggest trending videos right now is about where to find the Facebook pixel. Well, Facebook about 2 months ago kind of hit it. So for the longest time, people couldn't find it, and there was not a video about that on YouTube. So what did I do? That's a topical video in a trending video or a trending topic. Hey, I can't find my Facebook pixel. Recorded a video. It's the #1 ranking video for Facebook pixel. And I can write a blog about that. So everything's going to tie in together. You're starting to get me excited on this. I better keep going. But blogs, again, are not dead. It's a fantastic way for you to build what you have because you can. It's a great tool. So I highly encourage you to look into that and be on the lookout for the ones that we release. Watched that yesterday. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Now here's the thing. And this is why I put an asterisk to it. Email marketing. And I went ahead and just dropped the text marketing because text marketing, although it's super popular now, it's not going to hit the mainstream until next year or a year after that. Right now, I am starting my text marketing campaigns, but we'll just keep it back to email. Know that you can do text marketing as well. It just takes a different software and a different level of engagement there. But with email marketing, you want to capture emails. Whatever you're doing, you want to capture emails. You want to capture somebody's information because if you don't, you are at the mercy of Facebook. You're at the mercy of YouTube. You're at the mercy of X, Y, and Z. You're at the mercy of other people's platforms. Now, if you don't think that you can get banned from those platforms, you can. So just be aware of that. So with you having somebody's contact information, whether that's their email, their phone number, whatever it is that you have, whenever you have their contact information, that's when you actually have a business, especially in the service business. Because when it comes to service business, most of it is based off of leads, based off of people's behavior coming back. So when it comes to the service business and generating, and especially in real estate, since you're talking about your book of business, that's what you sell when it's time to retire. Your book of business is what you sell at the time of retirement. And I used to be a business broker. So what's down here? But there's a book down here. Well, so this is a big book. This is big book of business brokers. It's a bit dated, but it tells you what you can expect for your real estate industry. So we'll read it right now. It's story time with Uncle Jaime. Here we go. So real estate agencies, just so you know, so this book gives you kind of the pricing structure for a lot of the businesses that are being sold, gives you statistics. So it's a great reference book. I used it all the time whenever I was when I had my business brokerage and help buyers, help people sell their business and help people buy businesses. So, so rules of thumb here with real estate industries, you can sell your book of business for 2 times the seller's discretionary earnings. Again, this is just rules of thumb. So generally, you can sell it for 2 times seller's discretionary earnings. Most of the time, you're going to require an earnout. So an earnout is basically as revenue gets materialized, then you receive more of whatever was promised to you in the purchase agreement. And then you also, so you can also sell it under the revenue formula, which is 33% of annual sales, which includes inventories. But that's if you have an office. So you didn't come here for a business brokerage lesson, which I don't do it all that much anymore. It has to be a business that is projected to sell for several million before I want to get involved. I guess I could get involved for some that are before, but I like to stick with businesses that are going to sell over 2.5 million because then it's actually worth my time. So with I'm about to get into business brokers. No, there's a reason that I don't have that business brokerage business anymore. All right. So anyway, capturing somebody's information, that's what I was talking about. So capturing contact information, that's what you sell at the end of the day. That's what that book means, where when it comes to your book of business, you're selling contact information. That's what you're doing. So if you don't have any information to sell, then you don't have a business. So you're going to be in the hamster wheel of being a real estate agent. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a real estate agent. But as far as the hamster wheel, if you're looking for an exit strategy, then in real estate, it's not as lucrative as you might think. So the whole point of this is as you're going through, and if you implement YouTube, if you implement Facebook, if you implement the blogs, you're capturing people's information. So you want to capture their information directly as much as possible. There's a reason that in my YouTube videos, I say, hey, if you want the ad copy that has this amazing results that generate leads for $1, email me at Jaime@JaimeResendiz.com. There's a reason, because at that point, I take your eyeballs, I take your views into my inbox. That way I see, all right, so who's looking, who's watching, how can I help? It's the strategy. That's the strategy. With blogs, that's why you have a little, hey, subscribe to the blog. That's why you're capturing their information. Is this making sense? I know that this could be a little bit foreign to some people. So I want to make sure that that this is landing where it needs to land. All right. So email marketing, that is something that you absolutely want to do. But first, you absolutely have to capture people's information in order to have somebody to send it to. With your email marketing strategy, you want to at least reach out to them once a week. You want to reach out to them at least once a week when it comes to the people that are actively searching. If they're not actively searching, once a week, I feel is a bit excessive, but for sure you want to do at least once a month. So if they're actively searching at least once a week, at bare minimum once a week, that's very critical. But when it comes to to your long-term database, you can hit them up on holidays and you can hit them up once a month in addition to that. So all of your banking holidays, I don't know how many there are, about 7 or so, you can add those to your monthly total. So that's a great thing. And then if they bought house with you, their anniversary date, if their birthday, that's another textable event or emailable event. And I know for a fact that's not a word. All right, so let's tie this together. I tipped my hand early on of how we tie everything together. You saw how everything was cross-promoted. So you saw how you could use video over on your blog. You saw you could use video on your Facebook group and all of that fun stuff. But at the end of the day, here's how you tie everything together through retargeting. I mentioned to you at the beginning of the live stream, before you hit the like button, now would be a great time to do it again. Or if you hit it once, don't hit it again because that'll take it off. So make sure that you at least hit it once. when you're tying everything together, this is when we actually take out our credit card and we start running some ads. So these are people that saw you at some point. Goes back to the first principle that we talked about. Be everywhere. Be absolutely everywhere. And the way that you guarantee that is by doing retargeting ads. Now, with Facebook ads and YouTube ads, here's how that looks. With Facebook ads, remember when I asked you, you're going to see like, whoa, he actually, he knows what he's talking about. Remember when I asked you to guide the attention somewhere? I told you, hey, go, for me, it's my website and my YouTube channel. For you, it could be whatever it happens to be. So guide the attention to where you want it and make sure that you're able to capture their information directly, which goes back to getting your emails or contact information. Or two, have a place where they can be retargeted, have a place where they can be tracked at a later date. So as we're tying everything in together, we're running some retargeting ads. And on Facebook, since you drove everybody to your website as an example, you're able to retarget them up to 6 months. So you can continue running ads to the people that visited your website for the past 6 months. So if you're doing the circular content creation that I'm talking about with your emails, with your blogs, with your posts, with your videos, then you should be able to drive people back to your website at least once every 6 months, right? So you're having that audience be built and be cultivated, and here you're retargeting them. Now, they don't have to give you their contact information for you to be targeting them or retargeting them. If they're on, let's just say, if you drove everybody to your Facebook business page, as an example, if you drove everybody there, well, you have up to a year to retarget them. So anybody that likes your page or anybody that has engaged with your content in the past year, you're able to retarget them. That's how powerful this is. That's how powerful Facebook ads can be. And remember, I may be saying Facebook ads right now, but Facebook owns Instagram. So you can run ads on Instagram as well, even though they never went to your Instagram account. So you're able to do that. Now, you can also do the partner websites with Facebook. So Facebook has a lot of partner websites that you are able to show up. So you're following them through the internet, you're being everywhere, and you're not spending much. I'm suggesting here on the high end, depending on how large your business is, on the high end, you're spending $10 a day, and that's on the high end. If you have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people, that's $10 a day. For most of you, you can get by with doing this for $2 to $3. So, and I'm not saying that to degrade anybody that you don't have thousands. Again, you don't need thousands of people. I'm operating in a different sphere. I'm operating in the online world where I can go anywhere. I'm not geographically bound. For you, you don't need that. It's not needed. You absolutely could do that, but you don't need to. So when you're tying everything in together with your Facebook ads, your Instagram ads, and the partner websites, that's what I'm talking about. You're able to retarget them. Now, let's talk about YouTube for a second. With YouTube, guess what? You're retargetable now because you watched one of my videos. Because whenever I run YouTube ads, I have the ability to remarket or retarget people that have watched one of my videos, get this, up to 540 days back. So what's that, a year and a half, a little bit over a year and a half, whatever the math works out. So with YouTube, as it goes back to where are you driving attention? I said website, right? Well, I can retarget Facebook. I can retarget YouTube. I can retarget Google ads. Now, one caution there. The reason you're able to retarget Google ads is because you have spent over $50,000 in Google ad spend. That's the qualifier for that. So that's the reason I didn't include here that you're able to retarget on Google ads because that's the criteria. So if you spent $50,000 on Google ads, praise God. There you go. So you've met the requirement. But if you haven't, you're not going to be able to do retargeting. So Facebook gives you a huge leg up because it doesn't have a barrier to entry there. You can retarget people at will. Google, there is a barrier to entry there with your retargeting. So if you didn't know that now you do. But anyway, so that's the reason I'm driving over to website, because I'm able to do all of that. Now with YouTube, you are driving people to wherever you want them. So you're creating content and people are watching your YouTube videos. And let's just say they go over and get one of your buyer cheat sheets or seller cheat sheets, whatever it is that you're offering. Well, you're driving traffic over there, but you're also able to retarget them because they watched one of your videos. Is this making sense? I feel like at this point it can get a little bit abstract and a little bit silly, but I want to make sure that you're aware that this exists, because this is where you tie everything in together. Like I mentioned at the beginning, I'm not suggesting you spend $50,000. Oh, let me rephrase that. I'm not suggesting you spend $5,000 on Facebook ads, $5,000 on Google ads, $5,000 on YouTube ads. I'm suggesting that you spend at most $5 a day. And you can do that every other week, or you can do that every other month. No, not every other month. That's too far. You at least need to do it once a month. So this is how you tie everything in together. This is the perfect marketing strategy. I really hope I poured a lot into this. I hope that it shows that that this actually makes sense for you, because I've seen, without calling anybody by name, I've seen some real estate coaches out there that, and I'm not a coach, by the way. I'm not a coach. I don't see myself that way. So I see a lot of big name coaches out there that say that, hey, this is a perfect marketing strategy. And basically their watered down approach is call people, call people farm based, and then do that 3 hours a day. You can do that, but you don't have to. So I just wanted to provide something new to you, something that works together, something that I'm applying in my business as well, something that I share with the agents that I work with, not only from a consulting standpoint. So to consult with me at this point, as of time of this recording, it's $500 an hour, and it's getting ready to go up again. And let's see. So these are the consulting folks that this is what I share with them. This is what I share with the agents that I partner with at EXP. This is what I share with behind the doors with the title company executives. So it's a big title company that you probably are aware of. I can't share their name because I'm not allowed to, but you have these are the same things that I'm sharing with them. So now you know. So hopefully that this was beneficial. If there's any questions, I will gladly take them. I don't know if the chat is malfunctioning, because I don't see anything outside of the first comment. There's a good amount of people on the live stream right now. So if there's any questions, I'll gladly take them. If not, I'll make good and get you out of here on time. Let's see, what do we have here? Awesome. Well, it doesn't look like there's an additional big thumbs up. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Folks, it has been fun. I really enjoy our time together these Mondays. Make it a great Monday. Make it a great week. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down in the comment section down below. That would be the best way to get your question answered. If you ask me for 15 minutes, I'm going to tell you that I don't have them, because I legitimately don't. But outside of that, hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for hitting the like button. Thank you so much for subscribing. I'll see you next week.